All right, so I'm sorry that I haven't posted one of these videos in a little while. My microphone messed up on my iPad, and then I wasn't able to figure out how to fix it, and then I got kind of sick, and I wasn't able to really record myself. Even now, I'm still a little nasally, so bear with me through this, but this is extremely, extremely important. So today we're going to learn what is called let's make this a little bigger. We're going to learn what are called conjugation charts. And conjugation charts are extremely important because it's something that you're going to be using for the rest of your Spanish career. Even if you go on to take Spanish all 4 years in high school, you are going to use conjugation charts every single year. They will never, ever go away. First, I think we need to come up with what is a conjugation chart, or why do we need them? Well, conjugations are important because it's how we change a verb. So in English, it's pretty easy. We have verbs like I run, we run, they run, and so on and so forth. We don't tend to change our verbs very much. Doesn't matter if I'm the one doing the running or they're the one doing the running, the verb stays the same. In Spanish, it's not so easy. In Spanish, for every single noun, I, we, they, he, she, names or places, every single noun has its own personal verb. So instead of just one way to say run, for every single verb, we have about 36 different ways that we can use those verbs. Conjugation charts are just ways to make them a little more organized. So our first chart that we're going to go over, and I really recommend you drawing this chart out on paper as well so that you can have it in your notes. Our first conjugation chart we're going to be talking about is actually a chart of nouns. So these are all going to be nouns. So this is what you would see in a sentence that tells you how to conjugate your verbs. The great thing about the noun chart is that this is the one that will never change. I said earlier there's 36 different ways to say a verb. For the nouns, this will always stay the same way. So that makes this great. We're going to label each one of these columns. So this one is going to be our singular column, and this one's going to be our plural, which means everyone on the left side is going to be one single person, while the right side has to be more than one. Then we're going to label our rows first, second, and third. And these are going through the point of views that you learn in English class. So in first person point of view, you probably remember that you use the words I and we in a sentence. If you're reading a book that is second person point of view, it's going to say you. And if you're reading a book in third person, it's going to say words like he, she, or it. Or if it's plural, it's going to say they. So now I'm just going to give you the Spanish words that mean each one of these words. And a great thing is that we actually are not going to use this box right here. This is something that we only use in Spain. So I don't teach this with my Spanish classes, and most other teachers don't as well. So it makes it a little easier on you. To say I in Spanish is yo. To say you in Spanish is tú. To say we in Spanish is nosotros, or it could be nosotras. Depends on if you're a group of all guys or a group of all girls. Third person is a little tricky because there's so many things that could fit in here. Third person for this left box can be any single person that is not I and is not you. So think about it. We could have the word for he, which is el. We could have the word for she, which is ella. We could have people like el muchacho. Or we could have names like Daniel. One single name would still go in this third person singular box. One more that I just want to add is usted, and I will teach you what usted means later next week. Sort of the same thing for the third person plural. This can be any group of people that you are not a part of. So for example, it could be ellos or ellas, which means just they. It could be a new word, which is ustedes, which means y'all. It could be los muchachos. Or it could be multiple names. It could be Daniel and Marley. As long as there are more than one person, it goes in the plural column. And as long as I am not a part of this group, it has to be third person plural. I highly recommend taking this time to pause the video and copy this chart down so that I can clear my screen and then move on. All right, so now with that chart at your side, now we're going to learn the first real conjugation chart for our first verb. And the verb we're going to be dealing with is called ser. Now, ser is a word in its infinitive form, which just means it's a verb that starts with the word to. So for ser's case, it means to be. And I mean to be as in like, I am tall. She is short. The class is fun. That's what I mean when I say to be. It's like a description of something. So we're going to draw the same chart. We're still not going to use this box. There we go. And now, like I said, for our verbs, we have to change it for every single noun that we have. So, I said earlier that this top left-hand box is the word yo, which means I. So if I'm trying to write a sentence like, I am tall, we know how to say I, we know how to say tall. We're looking for this verb right here, which is the verb ser. So anytime you see I, you're going to conjugate the verb ser, and it's going to say soy, just like soy sauce. If, however, yo, is in a group of people, okay, so let's say it is Daniel and I are tall. Well, if Daniel and I are in a group together, then I know we have to be in the plural side because there's more than one person. And if Daniel and I are both together, isn't another way of saying a group that I am a part of, we can just use the word we. And we learned earlier that we means nosotros. Okay? So on top of saying nosotros to mean we could also have a list of names as long as I am in that group. So if you see a whole list of names, it doesn't matter if it's 50 names. If the very last one says yo, it means the same thing as nosotros. Let me erase this stuff right here. So I'm going to say, we are tall. We know that this word is nosotros. We know tall is altos because there's multiple people. We're looking for this word right here. So to change ser for nosotros is going to be somos. Nosotros somos. Or Daniel y yo somos. Any group that yo is in. If it's just yo and he's standing all alone, it's going to be soy. But if he's part of a group, it's got to be somos. If you walk up to someone and you just want to say, hey, you're really short. You are short. We know to say tú for the word you and bajo for short. The way to change ser for the tú form is going to be eres. Tú eres bajo. You are short. The last two we've already learned. These are our verbs es and son. We've gone over these before. So for es, you're dealing with any one singular person, because we're in the singular column, that does not say yo and does not say tú. Anything else that is singular that is not one of these two words. So it could be él es alto, he is tall. It could be la clase es grande. The class, because it's just one class, is large. As long as you just have one single noun that is not yo and is not tú, then you're going to use es. Lastly, for son, you're just making this plural. So now, anytime you have more than one person that you are not a part of, so a group of people, it could be like 3 people, like los amigos. So there's a lot of friends and they are all serious. We're going to say son serios. Or it could be names like so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so son bajos. They're all short. So this is our first conjugation chart. This and the chart of nouns that I gave you earlier is extremely important, and we're going to be dealing with this for the next couple of days. I'm going to go over some sentences just as practice. Okay? Then you have a worksheet on Google Classroom that is called SARE Worksheet 1. This is your assignment for the day, and then we'll probably finish it up on Monday, because I'm not sure you'll finish it today. So, a couple sample sentences. I'm going to say number 1, and I'm going to work these through with you. We could have the sentence, yo, blank, bajo. So hopefully you can have your 2 charts side by side, because that helps a lot. The way you work these out is you've got your 2 charts. I see yo right here. So I'm going to find yo in the top left-hand box of my nouns chart. The charts match up. So if I circled the top left-hand box of this chart, I'm going to use the verb in the top left-hand box of this chart. So it becomes yo soy bajo. Or if I have two blank alto, now I'm circling the word to, which is in this box, which means I'm going to use the verb form in this box. Eres alto. Now, when it gets confusing is when you've got groups. So what if I have yo y two blank altos? Now I have two people, yo y two. So if I have two people, I have to look in the left-hand column. I can ignore all of these. Now you're left with a 50-50 shot. I told you that if you are included in the group, so if it says yo in the group of people, you got to use this box right here. So the 50-50 shot, and then you look for the word yo, you know that we're using this top right-hand box. We're going to use this top right-hand box with it. So yo y tú means I and you somos altos. We are tall. I am short. You are tall. Let's say you have a sentence that says, George, Tammy, two blank serios. Well, if we look at our charts again, we see that we have three people, so we know we're not going to be on the singular side, so we can go ahead and scratch those off. We know we have to be on our plural side, so we're back down to a 50-50 chance. Now I look at these three people. Do I see the word yo in that sentence? No. I am not a part of the group. So if I'm not a part of the group, we can also get rid of that top one. Then we're only left with one more. We're in that bottom right-hand section. There are three people, so there's multiple people, and it's a group that I am not a part of. So you're going to use the word son. George, Tammy, and you are serious. I hope this made a little bit of sense. I tried to go through it pretty slowly. If you have any questions whatsoever, let me know. I'll probably post another video with just different varieties of when to use these words that you can watch. I will also be responding to the worksheet that you're doing today on Monday. So if you have any questions whatsoever, let me know. Obviously, most important things are that we need to memorize those charts because they're going to stick with you for the rest of your Spanish career. They will always be there, especially the nouns. Yo, tú, él, ella, usted, which I will teach you next week. Nosotros, ex. What did I do? Ex. Ellos, ellas, ustedes, soy, eres, es, somos, ex, and son. So if you don't have this chart, this is a last chance effort to get this before you have to rewind and get it. These need to be memorized as best as possible and as quickly as possible because they are the foundation of Spanish, especially this first chart. If we don't get this down as soon as possible, the class just always keeps getting a little harder. So I hope you have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions. Adios.